Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. Today is BookList Thursday, and it's a good one. So BookList Thursday is something I do with Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand. We come to you every Thursday with some sort of book-ish recommendations, ideas, thoughts, something like that. And today's topic are our auto-buy authors, right? I had a hard time narrowing this down. We usually try to go for about 5-ish books or 5-ish things that we talk about on these. But you know me, I don't always stick to the rules. So I have 6 authors here that are definitely my auto-buy authors. Some of them have been auto-buy authors for years. A couple of them are fairly new to me, but these are authors I am going to buy no matter what they write. It's coming home with me, and most of the time I'm buying it before it's even released. So let's get started. We're gonna go with the controversial one right away. I know there's some haters out there, and it's okay. I respect that. It's good for you, not for me. Whatever you think, but I love her. Colleen Hoover. I love, love, love these books. I've devoured them. Now, I do have a slight problem when she writes a book from one character's perspective and then writes a book about the same events from the other character's perspective. Not as much of a fan, but I've still read them because it's Colleen. But she hasn't done that in a while. She's actually, I think, gotten a lot better over time. I've truly, truly loved her books. I usually finish them within a day or so. I know that basically I'm barely coming up for air. Leave me alone until I finish these books. Good thing they're short. But I love usually love conflict that's in there. There's some sort of situation that these characters can't avoid that you just can't help but fall in love with them. And oh my gosh, I love everything about them. I know that these relationships are not perfect. They're not supposed to be, so I struggle with people who have issues with the books that she writes, especially the book It Ends With Us is about domestic violence, which people have issues with it because there's domestic violence, but that's what the book is about. So I don't know, there's always going to be parts of it that's what makes the book the book. I don't get it, but I love her. I love every single one of them. She just came out with Verity is her newest one. I read that in like 2 days. It was fantastic. And she's getting into more of the psychological thriller part of it, which I loved. Yes, yes, yes. Colleen, you are my fave. And I followed her on Instagram and she's so flippin' funny. So funny. She's hilarious. Next author that I have truly been a huge fan of for years and have seen her, I think, a total of 5 times, 5 or 6 times, is my friend Jodi. I mean, we should be on first name basis by now because it's approaching stalkerish weird with how many times I've seen her. But her books center around something so controversial that you end up not sure which side you fall on. They're always timely, and she researches the crap out of things, you guys. So when there are facts given in these books, I have no doubt in my mind they are facts. Whether it's statistics or past cases that have been fought within the legal system, whatever it is, I'm sure it's happened. This is the latest one that I've read. Loved this book. She took a little bit of a chance because she wrote it going back in time, so it's a little bit different. I'm not sure what my feelings are on that yet, but I did enjoy this book. Her favorites that I have are definitely, I would say, a tie between Leaving Time and The Storyteller. There's times that she brings a little historical fiction into it, which is in The Storyteller, but there's always some sort of conflict. Oh, 19 Minutes too. That one's definitely up there as well. That's about a school shooting. Fabulous books. They will make you think, and you will not be able to not think about them, which is wonderful in my eyes. Next up we have Kristen Hannah. Right, and this is my absolute favorite book by her, is The Nightingale. This is a World War II historical fiction, hello, but Kristen Hannah, again, writes such great, great books, usually from the woman's perspective, and there's some sort of event that has happened that has put them into a situation that they now have to deal with. Her earlier books I don't enjoy quite as much as what she's read recently, but I still find myself very interested, and I've been reading them. I think I read Homefront this past year by her. That was the little older one. But her recent book, The Great Alone, that takes place in Alaska, definitely one of my favorites as well. But she just does a fabulous job. And The Nightingale is probably in like my top 5 books of all time. It's so good. All right, next author is another one that I've been able to meet, I think twice she has been around. She's from Iowa, so she comes to Wisconsin pretty regularly. But I've fallen in love with her books and I've been devouring them lately, and it is Heather Guten, and this is my favorite book by her so far, is Little Mercies. She, again, I think my theme here is being put in positions that our characters don't have control over, that is a bit of a struggle and maybe have some moral or ethical implications to them. I think that's kind of what I'm feeling with the last, at least for sure with these 3. So this book follows a social worker. She's also a mom, so she's a busy working mom, and one day it's super, super hot. She doesn't realize that, or she gets called to a situation she has to go deal with one of the kids that she's a social worker for, forgets she has her daughter in her car with her, and leaves her in the car in the hot, hot sun. So now all of a sudden, here's this woman who stands up for kids who are put in these situations. Now she's on the other side of things. So really good book. Short, but a lot of her books are like that. They usually involve kids, so fair warning. But I love her. I've met her, again, like I said, a couple of times. Awesome, awesome person and awesome author to listen to as well. All right, next up we have kind of my go-to psychological thriller author, and I had a hard time with this. So, and it came down to, if this author came out with a book today, would I care what's about and buy it? Yes, I would. If this author came out with a book today, or would I read all the past ones? I don't know. It was hard, but I went with Chevy Stevens. And my favorite book by her is Those Girls. It follows 3 sisters who are put, again, in a very interesting situation. They're on the run, and some stuff happens. I can't tell you what, but some stuff happens. But every single one of her books that I've read, I have just fallen in love with. I've adored. I've loved them. I've read it just keeps me guessing all the way through. My second place to this was probably going to be Karen Slaughter. The only one that I kind of reserve myself for is a lot of her earlier work. My second place one would probably be Karen Slaughter. The only one that I'm kind of, the reason I'm kind of reserved on picking her is I'm not sure about her series that she has, but I guess I would auto-buy Karen Slaughter, so maybe she should be on the list. I don't know. Either way, pick up Chevy Stevens, pick up Karen Slaughter if you're looking for good psychological thrillers. They're both fantastic. My last one is probably my more recent author that I've fallen in love with, and it will definitely auto-buy from here on out. The 2 books that I've read by her, and I know it's only 2, it doesn't take much for her to be on my auto-buy author list because the 2 were so amazing. It's Arielle Lawhon. I was Anastasia, as well as The Wife, the Maid, and Mistress. Those are the 2 books that I've read by her. Both of them, I can't stop thinking about either one of them. So she takes true historic events and puts her own little twist on it, and the twist she puts on these events is just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing, seriously. So I Was Anastasia follows the story of Anastasia Romanoff, the mystery surrounding what really happened to her, as well as a woman named Anna Anderson. And is Anna Anderson really Anastasia? We'll see. I love the way she wrote this book. It went back in time. It was a little difficult to catch on to, but once I did, it was fabulous. I loved it. I loved how it all came together, and I loved her author's note. Oh my god. Fabulous book. I love the way she writes. It's so good. I'm buying every single book she ever writes from here on out. It's gonna happen. So those are my auto-buy authors. I love them all. Leave a comment below, what are some of your auto-buy authors, because, you know, I'm always on the lookout for more great authors. Exactly. Hop over to Sarah's channel. I'm excited to see what she has. I don't know what to expect. I have some guesses as far as what her auto-buy authors are, but definitely hop over there. I know I'm going to go over there shortly and check out what she has for today. Otherwise, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.